Support WrestleTalk!
Follow us on Twitter.
Hello and welcome to the WrestleTalk News. I am Luke Owen. As broken by ESPN yesterday, when WWE fed them the story, former Universal Champion Goldberg will be inducted into the 2018 WWE Hall of Fame as its headline inductee. Goldberg has been rumored for some time, and his last run with the company and WWE 2K17 DLC inclusion cemented him as a sure thing for the class of 2018. Goldberg himself reacted to the news, posting on Instagram, "I'd like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you who has ever been a fan. This accomplishment could not have been made without you all. I'm very honored and humbled to be inducted." Several of Goldberg's friends and colleagues tweeted about the news yesterday, including Eric Bischoff saying, "Congrats, my friend, much deserved." Diamond Dallas Page tweeted, "Congratulations to my WCW brother Goldberg on his Hall of Fame induction," while former Raw commentator Jim Ross said, "Congrats to my fellow Okie and 2018 Hall of Fame inductee Goldberg. So proud of my friend." WWE COO and part-time squasher of former WWE champions Triple H also tweeted about the news saying, "Goldberg brings passion and intensity to everything he does, on the field, in the ring, and especially with his family. His intensity and character made him one of the biggest stars in our industry." Whoa, hold on a second. I'm getting flashbacks to an interview Triple H did a few years ago. Yeah, something in the back of my memory is telling me Triple H once said something very different about Goldberg. Hold on, let me quickly fire up my time machine and head back to 2010. Just gotta gun this baby up to 88 smarks an hour. Oh, guys, I've just got back from 2010. It was weird, people were still watching TNA. But more importantly, I found that interview with Triple H. In all seriousness, a big shout out to the good folks at Cage Side Seats for this little gem, recovering a 2010 interview Hunter did with SB Nation Atlanta with Shawn Michaels. Now, around this time, due to WrestleMania being held in Atlanta, there was a lot of speculation that WWE might induct Goldberg into the Hall of Fame due to his connections to WCW and the city. This, of course, didn't happen, with the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase headlining the inductees instead. Goldberg's name was brought up in this interview, and Triple H and Michaels both agreed that the former WCW champion wasn't worthy of a Hall of Fame spot. "We have a unique business, and we try to do a legitimate Hall of Fame. We try to honor the guys that deserve it." So that explains why Coco Beware and Drew Carey are in it. So when you say, "What about Goldberg?" no offense to Bill, but you've got guys like Bruno Sammartino that were legends with longevity that should be in there. Just using Bill as an example, how many years did he wrestle? Not many. Michaels added, "To me, he's not even in the ballpark. Not because he's not talented, but greatness doesn't happen in a few years." Triple H's main gripe at the time was that Goldberg was only interested in money rather than the business, which to be fair to him is very true. During his Inside the Ropes tour last year, Goldberg said that money drove him in this business, hence why he sat on his lucrative WCW Time Warner contract rather than taking the pay cut to continue wrestling and be part of the 2001 Invasion angle. Triple H also took a potshot at Hulk Hogan in the interview for similar things, who had just jumped to TNA to help them become a WWE competitor. So what's changed? I mean, by his own admission, Goldberg is still driven by money, and his career isn't much longer than it was in 2010, with his last WWE run amounting to around about 10 minutes of actual wrestling. Well, firstly, Triple H is now in a more corporate position than he was in 2010. But more importantly, Goldberg and WWE are now on good terms, thanks to his WWE 2K17 appearance and his money-making run with Brock Lesnar. With Goldberg now being considered a legend by WWE, it's surprising that he's not been announced for Raw 25 next week. However, there is a rather surprising name that has been revealed. WWE released more names for people returning to the company for Raw's 25th anniversary show that takes place next week. Already announced are names like The Undertaker, Steve Austin, DX and the APA, and included in this new announcement are Eric Bischoff, Terry Runnels, Michelle McCool, Kelly Kelly, and Chris Jericho. Yeah! That's Chris Jericho. Jericho recently wrestled against Kenny Omega for New Japan at their Wrestle Kingdom 12 event on January 4th, and set up a new program with Tetsuya Naito the following day at New Year's Dash. This seemingly killed all speculation that Jericho would be returning to WWE following his Omega match. However, this news sheds more light on this unique relationship Y2J has with Vince McMahon and WWE, where he can wrestle for New Japan and do his own wrestling cruise, but also has an open door for him to return to Titan Twin Towers. However, Dave Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio that Jericho appearing at Raw 25 is far from a done deal. WWE don't have a deal with Jericho for the show. They could make the deal tomorrow. Months ago, it was pretty much told to me that he would be on Raw 25. They didn't have a deal, but it was expected. New Japan expected it. They're not surprised. The original idea was that he would do Wrestle Kingdom 12 and then do Raw 25, but there is no deal in place, so they prematurely announced him. But that doesn't mean he won't be on the show. It just means there's no deal in place for him to do the show. Which TNA stars are possibly jumping to WWE? Click the videos in the center of the screen for more awesome wrestling content.